Welcome to the fight game. He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and we're going to start off talking about the fight. It's fight week. Usyk versus Fury, part two, or I call it ass whooping part two. I don't see anything different from the first fight because Usyk is telling Fury, you're not going to have to look for me. I'm going to stick to you just like he stuck to him in the last fight. So if Fury doesn't do something or come up with something, or Sugar doesn't come up with something, I just see the same thing happening. I tried to put my bet in last week with a parlay, but those parlays didn't work out. So I got to just bet that fight, period, because I had it with some UFC fights and all that other stuff, and I was going to be heading into this fight week because I just knew that was going to be the icing on the cake, but it didn't happen. I put some college games, football games. I got to stop doing that. But I don't see any difference in this fight than the last fight. The only thing I can see is Fury trying to use the jab a little bit, but I can see Usyk kind of getting under that and getting into him just like, he did last fight. Your thoughts, man?
This is interesting. No, I you know what? I love your candor. I love your I love your ability to rationalize things that in a certain way that it like stuff didn't happen in the last fight. It's like, okay, well, if he do what he did last fight, he gonna win. Oh, okay, but don't we remember early on who was winning that fight? But then we debate about that because
I don't
you
think he was
scored,
winning the fight. I really don't.
and that's fine. But then he had a broke jaw. How
And he
about the
still
other
won.
fans?
And he still
He had a
won.
broke, huh?
And he still won.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. So here's what I'm gonna say. You asked me what I thought. I'm gonna just say. So yeah, we gonna get into that. I say if Fury, the one thing I think Fury needs to do more than anything, Usyk fought a hell of a fight. He was a tough guy. He's a tough country. We never take away how good he is and the way he's been able to come through the division, being a smaller guy and really go after these heavyweights and put it down. You got to admire that. He's a hell of a champion. He's already made his mark. But I think the one thing that and maybe I'm wishing upon a star or something, but I'll do that. I just think it's something about Fury, and Fury didn't have a great fight last time, but he was dominant in a lot of ways. He was hurting that man, and he broke his jaw early. But I think the one thing that Fury did not do, and I said it before, and I think he mentioned it too. I'm not in his corner, but that going, he didn't fight strong all the way through. He took time off. He was lapsing. There was just lulls in the fight. He didn't give it all because I think he thought he was winning that much. I think he thought he was dominating. And then, of course, later on, yeah, it happened where Usyk was all up on him. But I think early on, he thought he was coasting because he was boxing and laughing and joking and throwing those little bolos, whatever he does, all that stuff. And that's just me. I mean, when I look at this, but I think though this time is for real. I mean, not saying it wasn't before. I think he likes, okay, I know this guy's a fighter. I'm not gonna take no time off. Like he couldn't take any time off against Deontay Wilder because he got knocked out, right? There'll be no laws. And if the little man is able to win this time, then yeah, you got to give it to him. But I just think Fury has one more bullet left. He has one more performance left. And I think if he comes and fights the way he's capable, focused, ready, he can beat it. I don't think there's two, and I say this in all honesty, particularly in modern day, I don't think there's too many dudes that can mess with that dude when he wants to fight. And I know that, get off this real quick. I know that there's been those wars with Wilder. He's taken a lot of beatings, whatnot. But I think the one thing that he shows you is he's a student of the game, and Fury, that is, when he come ready, kind of like John Jones in UFC a little bit. He
Oh,
take on all customers. And I'm saying he's not as dominant as him, but I'm saying the attitude. He's a tough customer. So I am really excited. I mean, I came in the first time and I was excited about Fury, and I remain excited. The only thing I ask is one thing. Keep them damn towels, them special towels like the mix out the damn corner.
Oh, here you go. No, I knew you were going. I thought you were done with that, but here we go. They ain't got no mix.
I'm just saying.
There was no mix. It was no mix. I saw the fight where he had Fury out on his feet. I think Fury was showboating, and if showmanship, if there's such a word, was trying to convince the crowd that he had everything under control when he did not. And yeah, he had some shots, he had some shining moments, but Usyk was all over him, and it was a unanimous decision. It wasn't even close to me because Fury just couldn't beat this guy. He thought he could beat him. He thought it was going to be an easy fight, and it wasn't. It wasn't an easy fight, and he got taken to task from the little man. He thought this guy's little. He's too small for me. I can easily handle him. I can easily beat him. And it didn't happen that way. And he got beat that night. I wish he would have admitted that.
I'm okay with the what you saying he got beat, but the thing is though, if you go back and watch the fight, he was not dominating the whole fight. He had to come back, and once he got his towel, then he had to come back. Once he got his towel, he got his refreshment. But even if you throw that out, okay, he had to come back because he was down. The corner was even telling him. Corner was telling him he was down, and they wasn't saying it because we got to keep him hyped up. They thought the same thing. So I might be wrong, and maybe Usyk is that great. And if he is, I'm gonna give you kudos because you've been with him for a minute. But
right.
I'm trying to tell you, I still believe Fury can come up in there and with his best effort right now, he got a lot to prove. And if think about this, if Fury wins this fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say they come back for a third and he wins that fight. Imagine what this means to Fury's legacy as a heavyweight champion. Imagine, because Usyk's come in, dominated pretty much everybody, right? Pretty much ran through everybody. Du Bois, all that. So if Fury took down the monster, considered the monster, and Deontay, he take this little guy down. You do all these things, and he got to be considered one of the top heavyweights in modern day history, especially this time, because he's taking on all comers and he's been able to do it.
Okay, what's your predictions for the fight?
So let's see. I think that see how this works? See how you get blessed? See how you get blessed? I'm gonna share this real quick. Here's my prediction. And this is why my prediction was what it is. Going into the ninth round, Fury was ahead on all three scorecards. Yeah. On all three scorecards. Okay. So with that being said, I think he finished his job this time. And I think that they going the distance. Do they go? Are they going the distance?
It was a 10 rounder, right?
Is it
Or
10?
12.
I think it's 12.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna say they go the distance, but if they don't, I think Usyk is gonna try to do something crazy. And I'm gonna write this down. He's gonna get knocked out in the 10th round.
Okay. All right.
Because he gonna be so desperate after realizing that his greatness and all this stuff as a little man is on the line, and instead of keep getting beat down, he gonna go for it, and that's when my man gonna catch him, and he gonna say, "I told you, the little one, I told you." So I'm going. If it's by knockout, 10th round. If it goes to decision, I think that this is a time that Fury really punishes this dude.
All right. My prediction is TKO in the 11th or 12th round. I think he's going to wear Fury out. Fury's not going to outlast him, isn't going to be in greatest shape as Usyk. And I think it's going to be a TKO in the 11th or 12th round, if not a unanimous decision. But I think in the 11th or 12th round, I think Fury runs out of gas. Runs out of gas trying to defend against what you call the little man. But we will see on this coming Saturday. But you had some other news about Baval and Beterbiev too. That should be a good one. I'm looking forward to seeing that one again. Your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, it seems like the Sheik is trying to line some things up for this card on February 26th, 22nd, I'm sorry, overseas. And he was able to get that rematch done. We knew that Canelo was kind of, chiming in, trying to see if we could get a fight with Beterbiev. But I like this rematch. I would be interested to see what Bivol is going to do in return. I think he knows he has to throw more punches now. Again, that was a fight that I thought, I mean, granted, the way it was going, even though his face was messed up, I thought that Bivol was right there. But again, I was wrong. So I've been wrong a couple times on these decisions. But I think Bivol comes back with a different attitude. I think he's going to come back with a different way to go after it. And I'll be interested to see his approach because now I think he knows two things. One, you can't be afraid. Can't run from this guy. We know he has a hell of a punch. He's a puncher and he can knock you out, right? But you're going to have to come now with it to like, okay, the only way I'm going to at least have a chance to win, particularly if it's anything to do with the judges and on card, on points, I had to be aggressive. And Bivol can do that. He did it against Canelo. You have to be aggressive. You got to be more. You got to throw more punches. And if he does that instead of waiting to get hit or just picking his shots all the time, I think it'll be very interesting for him to see what he can do, and also prepare for this fight. Plus, too, now the last point for me on this: the Beterbiev now has the proof of has the burden of proof on his side now, right? Because he's the champion. He's the guy, so people expect more. Duval's like, you know what? People expect more from you.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of those fights you really can't predict because the last fight, I don't think we gave any predictions on the last fight because we just saw that this was, if I got to look back at the videotape when we kind of previewed this fight. But it just seemed like this is going to be a kind of fight that drag out kind of brawl at this particular time because both guys want it. Beterbiev has to prove himself that the first fight wasn't a fluke, and Bivol wants to come back and prove that it was a fluke, and I'm going to show you exactly who I am. So it's one of those fights where I don't want to predict. I really don't want to predict because I know that it could end up as a draw. It can go either way. You never know in these fights. I wouldn't even put no money on this fight because you're never gonna know. One guy can get a good punch in, and then the fight could be over, or they could just be banging it out for the whole fight. You just don't know.
That's so true. I mean, so I get that, and it is hard, but I'm glad that they were able to get the rematch done. We are way overdue for us, boxing fans and other people just that are watching the sport from afar to get these damn quality fights. Yeah. I mean, they're killing us. I mean, again, we go back to that entertainment thing going on like that. If all those people would watch that entertainment, imagine what they would do if they watched a real live, kind of very contested, fully action-packed boxing match of people that they learned about and know.
Yeah. One more boxing story before I go to UFC and what we saw last Saturday. Tank Davis talking about retiring. Do you think he's serious about this, or this is a way for him to kind of put himself in position to make more money?
Yeah, I don't know about the money thing. I think he's just kind of frustrated the way that things have been going on, and I think that he wants to really, he's talking about these guys not fighting, and I think the whole business aspect of him going through it with Mayweather, and I think he just kind of released Leonard Ellerby. And he got back with his coach Calvin Ford. I think there's a lot going on, and Tank has been at this a long time, and I think he's just kind of tired of the foolishness. I mean, I think he's the type of guy that loves to be with his people. Enjoy. I think he has a daughter. Enjoy his daughter, and he's like, I don't have to fight. I fight because I want to, whatever. But it's not like some people they live for fighting. I think he's so much tired of all of the drama and talking stuff, and I think it really bothers him. Get off this point. I think it really bothers him when guys he's going to face talk a lot of crap. And then they get in there and he beats the hell out of them. He's like, why are you running your mouth when you know I'm going to beat the hell out of you? And you know you can't beat me. And I think he just tired of the hype and all of the foolishness that goes along with professional boxing. And I think he really still wants to fight good fights, but I don't think he has to have it anymore. I really don't believe that.
Yeah, I have to go back because I can't go to MMA yet because I know there's some fights you wanted to mention before we got off the air today. So what are those fights?
Yeah, the other fights that we're looking at is a possible ability of Israel Madrimov versus Virgil Ortiz in February as well. Now, remember, Madrimov was the guy that Terence Crawford fought at 154 when he moved up. Guy that kind of gave him a little of the business, and
Trouble, yeah.
Terence was not able to dominate. So we've been waiting for to see give a real challenge to Virgil Ortiz. So I think that's an amazing fight because it's opportunities for both. And what if Virgil Ortiz does well at 154 and does more damage to this guy? Of course, you know he's going to be knocking on the door to possibly fight Crawford after that, right? For so many other people at 154. This is a great opportunity for him to prove himself, Virgil Ortiz, that is, at that level. But then on the other side, for Majimov, it's an opportunity for him to like, look, yeah, okay, Crawford beat me, but I'm also legit on my own, and I can be a tough fight no matter what.
Okay. Now, I was watching UFC last week, and there were a couple of fights that stood out to me. Justin Jacoby against Victor Vitrino. That was a great fight. Cappy versus Silva. That was, I mean, these fights ended in a TKO, a knockout. These were some amazing fights. But the fight that really got me because Covington, of course, is not one of my favorite fighters. I look forward to him getting beat every time he gets in the ring. But Daquan Buckley is the man at this particular point, and he punished Colby Covington. I'm not even sure why Colby Covington is still fighting in the UFC. Maybe he's Dana White's boy. I don't know. But he seems to get pummeled in fights. But he was on the main event on this. I'm glad they didn't put it on pay-per-view because nobody would have paid for it. But it was worth seeing Jaquan Buckley and the skills that he has come in and beat Covington soundly, where they just had to stop the fight in the third round because Covington couldn't see out of one of his eyes.
Yeah, but I think part of it is you mentioned about Covington. Covington's a draw. He must have a following.
Mm.
And sometimes it's like watching that old club fighter that you know he's never going to be the champion. He's never going to be that guy, or he's over the hill. Well, people want to see him. So therefore, you throw him in there with somebody like, with Buckley. Buckley tears him up, and you go, oh, okay. Well, now we run back around. But he's a guy that they know is going to give effort. He's going to fight his butt off, probably have his eye closed every time and get knocked out, but he's not going to stop trying. And that sells tickets. That sells tickets, that sells pay-per-views, views, and people want to see blood. And, that guy probably has Kobe probably has a no-nonsense attitude. And depending on what values and system he's projecting, you're going to throw that in there too. Because, people want to be connected with somebody they think they are alike. So, yeah, it's a lot of intangibles on that.
Yeah. He's Icewater. I'm Puma. This is a Fight Game.